This episode is brought to you by QT Designs. Make sure you check out the website here to get the latest Chitty's World Chit Chat Wrestling merchandise, including brand new t-shirts, hats, koozies, stickers, and more. Once again, that was qtdesigns.com. Yo, welcome on in. Wow. I had to come on and talk because what a crazy freaking week for professional wrestling it has been. If you're a fan of professional wrestling, then you've been treated like almost every show this week anyways. You've been treated, whether it was Raw, whether it was NXT, whether it was TNA, AEW. I'm sure there's probably some treats there for you as well too. I want to go ahead and talk about that, and of course SmackDown tonight. Just want to quickly talk about it, maybe 15 minutes, have a nice little discussion, kind of talk about everything that's been going on in the world of professional wrestling this week. I want to kick it off though, starting with tonight. Wow, what a SmackDown from top to bottom, or bottom to top, whichever way you want to look at it. The start of the show to the end of the show, we'll say it that way, was absolutely fantastic. It was booked really well. It was nice to see the Money in the Bank qualifying matches as well too, and the winners of those matches. Spoiler alert: if you are taping it, definitely don't may want to click off this or something. Or I say taping it, but if you're recording it, I should say. What just again, great decisions from whoever made the decisions, whether it was Triple H, whether it was the booking committee, whatever it is, on actually scheduling these winners. Chelsea Green, of course, coming ahead of Bianca Belair, and also Michin. Again, a great match tonight with those three. I thought for sure, I was like, oh, Bianca's probably going to win, but then I'm thinking, okay, well, maybe they're probably going to end up having her and Jade, go for the tag team titles again, and maybe start with working that whole feud. Bianca versus Jade, maybe for SummerSlam, maybe, I don't know. But either way, though, great, huge reaction in Chicago for Chelsea Green. Sky's the limit for her. Place popped, went crazy. I think it's a good idea. Plus, they're going to be in Toronto. They're going to be in Toronto, I believe, in Canada for Money in the Bank. So it only makes sense to have Chelsea in there. But either way, though, she's definitely a great hand, a great competitor. And she's definitely starting to get over, and she's just overall great character. So definitely a great decision there. And then, of course, later on, we saw Carmelo Hayes. He advanced by beating, he pinned Randy Orton. Imagine that. Carmelo Hayes pinned Randy Orton clean tonight with a roll-up, schoolboy roll-up, also beating Tama Tonga. So, again, kudos to WWE for doing the right thing and putting Carmelo, out there as well too, a young upcoming talent. Definitely a great way to showcase that. Randy Orton doesn't need it. Tama, definitely would have been a good choice too, but he's got his own thing going on. I think we're going to end up seeing some more with him and Randy and Kevin and this whole, we'll get to that in just a moment here. But I want to say kudos on Carmelo Hayes for winning that match. And then also later on, we would definitely see a lot more action as well here too, with Andrade advancing in the Money in the Bank as well too. So again, what a great night for young talent here. With Carmelo Hayes and with Andrade, getting the win. Again, Andrade defeated Grayson Waller, and Kevin Owens, and Waller ended up taking the pin, but what a great finish it was. But either way, though, it's nice to see, like I said, Chelsea Green, Carmelo Hayes, and Andrade all advance on to Money in the Bank in Toronto here in the 1st of July, or the first weekend of July. So very, very exciting there all around. Now to the next thing. Again, though, the huge thing, another thing too, is that we saw CM Punk come out, cut a great promo, of course, in Chicago. And then later on in the show, we would see, backstage, it was Grayson Waller having a backstage interview with I believe it was with DIY, and the next thing you know, you hear pounding on the garage door back there, and it opens up, and there's Drew McIntyre standing over a bloody CM Punk. Was it real blood? Was it not real blood? Was it real glass or was it not real glass? But either way, though, it was definitely a cool sight to see, and it was nice. It was again very perfectly done, well done, just like we saw this past Monday with the Wyatt Six. Again, though, Drew comes out, he picks up Punk, puts him on his shoulders, comes out onto the ramp of the arena, literally dumps him on his ass, like literally just dumped him. Drew takes him down or puts him down, ends up doing the whole on his knee thing, saying it's what time is it? and then took off CM Punk's bracelet, which apparently had the names of Larry and AJ Lee on there as well too. So again, very, very cool to see. Great shot, making the storyline even more exciting. Their match at SummerSlam, which we hope is going to happen, is going to be absolutely fantastic. I'm curious to see where this goes. So, with all that being said, here again, huge night for SmackDown. No AJ Styles tonight. Is it possible that we could see AJ Styles show up for TNA Wrestling? And they never really explained. He lost the match at Castle and stuff, so it's like, where was he at tonight? He wasn't there. And there's been rumors that he could possibly show up at Slammiversary. I could definitely see it. AJ Styles back in TNA Wrestling in quite some time. So let's move on. Let's keep talking about SmackDown, though. Next thing's going to be the ending of SmackDown. Let's just go ahead and move forward to that because there's plenty more. But at the very end of SmackDown, we finally see the debut of Jacob Fatu. It was cool. They did it very, very well done in Chicago as well too. Jacob's wrestled all over, but he's wrestled a lot in the Chicago area and such. So it was really nice to see him come out, make his debut there. The crowd knew who he was. He got a couple holy shit chants, and they let him go hard. Like he did a spear into Randy Orton on the outside, busted the barricade. He was hitting everybody at the super kicks. He ended up doing a big splash. I believe it was onto Cody Rhodes off of the rope into through the announce table. Again, they let him shine the truth that show that he is a badass because there was some speculation that a lot of people had believed that Jacob was going to overshadow Solo Sokoa going into this whole bloodline feud with this whole new bloodline. And I can definitely see that. I mean, if you look at things right now, it definitely just off and based off tonight, dude. Like Jacob has always been a badass. He's very very agile. He's very very athletic for his size as well too. It looks like he's lost a little bit of weight as well too. But not that he was big before, but he was just for a bigger guy. He could move like crazy. Excellent in the ring and just overall just a great performer. And I'm just so glad to see him, here in the WWE showing up with this bloodline. Now we got 4 members of the bloodline. Hikuleo is rumored to be coming as well. To believe that's how you say his name. I can't remember. I don't really watch a whole bunch of New Japan and such, but I'm familiar with him. But I'm curious to see, what they're gonna do. Hikuleo, I believe it is. I'm curious to see what they're gonna do with him coming into this bloodline feud and such. Is he going to team up? Is he going to join these guys? Is he going to team up with Roman and the Usos when they come back? Where's the Rock stand? What's going to happen with this whole entire mess? I'm curious, and I'm definitely ready to see where this goes. I imagine it's probably going to War Games. We'll probably end up seeing this feud, kind of break out. But I'm curious to see where it goes. So let's move on, though. Huge, like I said, great SmackDown. Overall, a great SmackDown tonight. Excellent show. Storylines, everything. The pacing of the show just was really, really done well as too. Let's move back really quick to Monday night. We're not going to go too deep into Raw. It was a good Raw for the most part, though. But let's just talk quickly about the end of what happened at the very, very, like I said, the very, very last segment of Raw. We saw Jey Uso celebrate his Money in the Bank qualifying match. Lights go out. We hear the music come on. The first part of Shatter come on, which is Bray Wyatt's theme. And then next thing you know, we see, Sister Abigail, a.k.a. Nikki Cross, come crawling out like the whole ring style and such, just coming out, and she looked fantastic. The makeup, the masks, everything just looked absolutely great here. So she comes out, she stands up, she points to the back. The camera goes back to the back. Very, very nicely done too. The production was just excellent. We go to the back and we end up seeing first things first. We end up seeing Rowan. So Redbeard, we end up seeing him back in the back there where he's dressed like the Rambling Rabbit, or kind of a whole gimmick. Then next thing you know, we end up going back a little bit further. We see some bodies laying on the ground and so forth. And we end up seeing Dexter Loomis, who's playing his character as well too. Then we end up seeing Joe Gacy, who's going to be playing his character. And then the two final shots, I should say. The next one is some more down bodies. We see Chad Gable laying there on the ground. He's got blood on his forehead. Looks like he's absolutely just been destroyed. And by the way, we saw lots of blood back there as well too. So it's a good indication we saw blood recently here at Clash, I believe it was. We saw it tonight with CM Punk. Whether it was real, I'm not too sure. course, we saw it last week, which was fake blood, obviously last week with the whole Raw, this past Monday on Raw, with this whole Wyatt sick thing. And then, anyways, last shot we see, or one of the last shots we see is we see Uncle Howdy, Bo Dallas back there. He's just the crowd pops for it. Corpus Christi is where they were at in Texas. They've always been kind of well known to be kind of a quieter crowd. So I was really, really surprised to hear the pop. I think it would have been bigger if it would have been like in Chicago or something like that, a bigger like wrestling crowd, I should say. Not saying that Corpus Christi, just isn't. They're just not always known for being very, very loud. Actually, a lot of people say they're probably one of the quietest crowds. So, anyways, we see Uncle Howdy. They come out, they stand on the ramp, and they meet up with Abigail back there. Uncle Howdy picks up the lantern, Bray's lantern, and holds it up, and then we end the show with all members of the Wyatt Six sitting there, standing there, and we go off the air. And wow, just what an amazing shot! What an amazing 5 minutes, 5.5 minutes, whatever it was, of production that we saw from WWE that night to end the show. It could not have been done any better than what it was. If you're a wrestling fan, if you're a Bray Wyatt fan, this was everything you hoped for. It was a very, very, fitting tribute to Bray Wyatt, to Wyndham. Very, very fitting tribute. They did a great job doing it, and I'm curious to see if they're going to keep going back with the music and stuff with the door and everything, or if that was just kind of a one-off, just to kind of bring them in and to do the quick tribute to do the tribute to Bray Wyatt. And then next week on Raw, they're going to kind of start their own they're going to start their own story now, So we'll wait to see. And is the sixth member of the Wyatt Sick, because it's the Wyatt SICK, but there's a six as well too, so it's 6 6. Is that Bray Wyatt? Are they talking about Bray Wyatt being the sixth member, or are they talking about potentially somebody else coming in? There's always been rumors of Alexa Bliss coming in as well too, so it's a good possibility that we could see somebody else potentially show up as well too. So all in all, though, great ending to Raw, and it was nice to see the Wyatt Six finally debut and see what this is all about. Now moving on to NXT on Tuesday night again, and NXT is always, I've always said it's to me, it's like the best 2 hours of wrestling during the week, and TNA is up there as well too. I love watching TNA. TNA just is absolutely fantastic. It's something different. It's more underground, and it's nice to see. The Hardys are back, and that's another thing too. We gotta go back. We'll talk in the TNA next, but this has to do a little bit of TNA as well too. So we kicked off SmackDown on NXT, with this battle royale, 25-man battle royale. The winner gets a title shot against Trick Williams. So overall, though, it was a fun battle royale, but the big things that stood out, of course, was first things first. We see Frankie Kazarian from TNA in the ring when it first comes on. They didn't really announce him or anything, but they did show on social media and such of him being backstage with Shawn Michaels, and they show him entering the building as well too, or entering the arena for the show, and then of course for the match itself. So the big thing though is we hear say his name and he appears, I believe, in Joe Hendry. We hear the music come on. I did a reaction video on here as well too. Joe Hendry makes his NXT debut here, representing TNA wrestling, and what a huge pop he got. These people it's been speculated for a while he's going to show up. These people on that in that PC have been waiting for this moment, and clearly everybody at home as well too. When I say the pop was big for that place, the pop was big for that place. The camera shook. I remember they showed the long cameras, and it shook from how loud the crowd was and such, and how they were moving. It was just, again, a great moment. Very, very happy for Joe Hendry. He definitely deserves it. He was thrown out within less than like a minute and a half or something like that, but that's okay because there's definitely more Joe Hendry coming. He's currently the most liked or the most watched video, I believe it is. Might be liked. Can't remember which one. One of the two. Either way, though, on social media for WWE for 2024. That is absolutely huge news, considering he is not even signed by WWE. He is a TNA wrestler. So, again, this partnership is going very, very well. Anybody who says differently is absolutely crazy. TNA's numbers have been up. Viewership, ratings, YouTube views as well as ticket sales have gone up for Slammiversary coming up here soon. They've actually had to increase the amount of seats and such for the attendance. Again, this is an overall just great for TNA wrestling as well. They've had tons more new subscribers to their TNA Plus, including myself. I've always had the YouTube, version of TNA, so I can watch it for, I think it was like $1.99 or $1. I can't remember what it was. But either way, I'll gladly pay $9.99 if I can continue getting those great events. And of course, I got the library because I've been watching TNA wrestling since like 2003 ish, around like when they first started doing the pay per views for the TNA. Back in the day, the Asylum era. That's when I first started watching. I used to pay $10 a week to watch it for a while there. So, again, huge moment for TNA to have both Frankie Kazarian, who made it to the Final Four, as well too in that 25-man battle royale, and then of course with Joe Hendry making his presence known. At least he didn't, like I said, wasn't in there very long, but he made his presence known, and again, it popped. It popped a rating as well too, because a lot of people were speculating. And really quick rating wise, apparently NXT was like what I think it was like 768 or something like that. So they're in the high 700s for the ratings. 700,000. It was well over that. Where NXT, sorry, AEW's Dynamite this week was like 520K. So NXT literally destroyed AEW in the ratings, both for the demographic and just for the ratings in general here. That says a lot. That says a lot. This was AEW's lowest rated show, like in ever, and it's just it blows my mind. But we'll get into that. It's a whole different topic. We'll get into that at some point here. I just wanted to and again, it's nothing against AEW. I've been watching AEW since forever as well, since 2019 when it first started, and they definitely need some changes for sure. But either way, though, what a great show for NXT this past week was as well too. Moving on quickly to what I said, I was going to talk about TNA really fast here. TNA had a great show. One thing about TNA is that it's taped, so I understand you have to have tape shows because they usually tape 2 weeks at a time. So this past week it was taped in Chicago. Next week was taped in Chicago as well too. They usually tape 2 shows at once on the weekend. The weekends. So with that being said, though, it was a pretty good show. It was like I said, I like watching TNA. I thought it was very good. I knew they were going to kind of work around this whole Joe Hendry and Frankie Kazarian type angle here that they worked up on NXT. I kept telling people, I was like, it's a work. It's going to happen. So that way it's good business. That way it will basically allow them to be able to move that story what they on NXT over to TNA to hopefully get those people from NXT to buy the TNA Plus app, or to go on YouTube or whatever it may be and try to, definitely watch some TNA wrestling. So definitely a great move indeed here. So TNA, though, like I said, great show. That was excellent. Seeing the Hardy Boys back there as well, too. And of course, I love seeing Dolph Ziggler, Nick Nemeth, as well as his brother and Ryan. I think they're a great team together. Dirty Dango's back, Fandango, Johnny Curtis. It's just, again, it's been a great time for professional wrestling, and TNA just keeps getting better every week. So I definitely love watching TNA on Thursday nights. It's become a must see for me, even though it's taped. But could you imagine if it was live again? I mean, do you think it would do well? I don't know. I keep telling everybody I think it would do very, very well if TNA wrestling was live once again. And whether it was on their app, maybe if it was on their or whatever on cable, but if it was on their app, even I think it'd be great. Or on cable, and then they showed it on the app as well too. But there's nothing better than back in the day with the live taping or live episodes of Impact on Spike TV when those used to be back in the day. So, again, great TNA show as well too. So again, wow, just Raw was huge, great Raw. We saw a big debut with the Wyatt Six. We saw, of course, Joe Hendry, Frankie Kazarian on NXT. TNA, we had the Hardy Boys come back, or we had Jeff Hardy come back as well too, and just overall, just a great showing all around from this past weekends against all odds as well too. And then tonight on SmackDown, again, just overall a great night for the young talent, Andrade, Carmelo Hayes, as well as Chelsea Green, just the new young upcoming talent getting those wins, and not so much going the route of which was the predictable Vince McMahon predictable. I would have predicted if Vince McMahon would have been booking this show still, and these matches happen, which they probably wouldn't be happening because half these guys wouldn't be there. But if they were happening, I would have definitely said Bianca Belair was going to win that first match. She would have beat Chelsea Green and Michin for sure. Second match, I would have said most likely probably either Tama Tonga or Randy Orton. Probably Tama Tonga would have won that match. Randy probably can't do those matches. He even said so himself he can't do those type matches anymore. He's not even going to try. So, but again, though, I wouldn't have seen Andrade win that. In the third match, of course, I definitely I wouldn't have seen Carmelo winning that one. And then with the Andrade one, I definitely want to see him win that one. I probably would have saw Kevin Owens win that one, or maybe even Grayson Waller. It's hard telling, but either any of those, but Andrade probably wouldn't have won with Vince being around. So again, great performance. Great time to be a wrestling fan, indeed. Then, of course, with the end of SmackDown, seeing Jacob Fatu come out and just annihilate everybody and put Cody through that announce table and shine out, shine, stand out, and make everybody wondering what the hell is going to potentially happen next with this whole bloodline angle. So let me know what you guys think here. Again, just a fantastic week. I wanted to come on to do a quick video. I am live here. I don't know if anybody's watching or not, but either way, though, just overall, what a fun experience it has been this past week watching professional wrestling. I just had a blast here. It's been hot. Wrestling has been hot recently here, and this whole past week, 100% proves just how hot it has been. And it's not with WWE. It's with NXT, which is WWE technically, and TNA as well too. AEW hopefully will pick it up. Hopefully it'll get better. Hopefully things change for them because this whatever they're doing now, it's not it. This is not. I'm not nothing against Will Ospreay or nobody else. Ricochet, I'm sorry, he's not going to make a difference when he comes over. It's not going to matter if Mercedes Moné didn't make a difference, if Will Ospreay didn't make a difference, or Ricardo didn't make a difference, if freaking Adam Copeland Edge didn't make a difference. If all these people they brought in did not make a difference, Ricochet is not going to make a difference at all. Will he get some new views? No. He may get some people from, he may get some fans from WWE to come over and watch it, but I highly doubt it. You're going to get your casuals, your regular AEW fans who watch every week religiously. You're going to get them to see it because they love that indie wrestling. They love Will Ospreay. They love that type of performances. They like the flips. They like the athleticism side of wrestling, not so much the story. So they're going to definitely watch now. But you may get some new looks as well too from current WWE fans who are going to probably check it out just to kind of see Ricochet and see what all he does. So I imagine when that does happen, if it happens, it hasn't even been confirmed yet, but if it happens, they may get some for a little bit, but it's not going to last. It's just the way it is, unfortunately. Things have to change over there in AEW land, and I think it's got to start with the booking committee. Tony Khan can't be running the show. That's just all there is to it. He can't be running the show. And then also they gotta start worrying about building their own stars and not worrying about what WWE's doing. Who cares? Don't have to call them out every show. Who gives a shit what they're doing? They're not competition to you. They're not competition to you because you're nowhere near their level. I'm not saying as far as the wrestling or nothing goes. I'm talking about just the actual the ratings and just everything else here. They're not on that level. They don't need to worry about it. Right now they're competing with NXT to a degree, but they have to. They don't even have to worry about it. Just put on the best show possible. Book storylines, great storylines, by the way, ones that attract people who get you to come back next week, who cannot wait to see what's going to happen. You have to have that. Unfortunately, it's not how it used to be back in the day, where you could have match after match after match after match, and just it's not. That's an indie show. I've been to a million indie shows. I worked on indie shows. I booked indie shows for over 6 years, and it's okay to have match after match after match after match on an indie show. Although on my wrestling shows, I always had stories and such because you should always have stories. But either way, though, this isn't a booking show. You're on national television, or sorry, indie show. This is national television. You cannot do that, and that's why your ratings are down, and that's why you're catering to your casuals, who's always going to be there for you. And shame on them. Bubba Ray Dudley said it earlier. Bully Ray, basically said it earlier. It's just he pretty much said this as well too. Is the people that are supporting, and I'm not supporting, but the people who are saying it's okay for everything that's going on, to be to basically say it's okay and to be content with it and be happy with it. No, not at all. When your company is down to 502,000, viewers, the lowest ever, then there's something. Especially if you love that company enough. Just like having a job, it's like any job, right? When your job is doing bad, if you love that company enough, you're going to do everything you can to try. I know you want to support it, but you got to do everything you possibly can to try to, bring it back up and to lift it up and to make it better. And sitting there being content with it and just saying, oh, it's okay. It's okay. It'll come back. Oh, okay. It's okay. We're still getting great matches. Blah, 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 blah. It doesn't matter when no one's watching. It just doesn't matter. If you want them just to cater to you, then you're not really a fan. You're just, again, you might be a supporter, but it's just not how it works. This is not how it works, guys. Absolutely not how it works in professional wrestling. You always want them to succeed and get better. 1994, 1995 WWE, even 1996-ish was a shitty time for WWE. Absolutely crappy time. It was gimmick after gimmick after gimmick. Just the crowds were down, just boring ass shows. And yes, I still supported it, but I definitely did not. I voiced my opinion. Of course, we didn't have social media back then, but I voiced my opinion of that this was stupid, that something had to be done. And sure enough, the Attitude Era came up, and it was all fixed and better. So again, you have to. It's okay to support, but don't say it's okay for someone to be stuck where they're at or doing worse. They need help to be brought back up and to be doing better. So again, let me know down below what you guys think here. Did you enjoy the shows? Which one was your favorite? Was it Raw? Was it NXT? Was it TNA? Was it AEW? Was it SmackDown? Was it something else? Whatever it may be, guys, it's been a fun week for professional wrestling. Let me know what you guys think down below here. As I mentioned, make sure you guys like this video if you choose to. And make sure you subscribe to the channel here and turn on that bell notification to keep updated with all things here that is on Chitty's World. And as always, guys, we will see you on the next one. Later. This episode is brought to you by QT Designs. Make sure you check out the website here to get the latest Chitty's World Chit Chat Wrestling merchandise, including brand new t-shirts, hats, koozies, stickers, and more. Once again, that was QTDesigns.com.